Hey, good evening everybody. Well, this is nice, isn't it? First night of comedy, look at the turnout, brilliant. I'm glad I made the effort. Yeah, I'm glad. I did my hair, did my face, got a nice dress on. I've got matching underwear on. You're afraid, aren't you? You're afraid. Listen, I'm fully aware there's more chance of me getting a medical emergency than pulling. You're safe, love. I'm from up north, a little village outside Manchester. It's called Rochdale. I don't know if you've heard of it. No. For them that haven't, it's famous for Gracie Fields, Lisa Stansfield, grooming gowns. And I had an idyllic childhood, smoking, drinking, underage sex. And it would have been perfect, but my mum were barking mad. Yeah, she was absolutely obsessed with the weight, proper yo-yo dieter. And I'll give you an example. 1980, she was North West Slimmer of the Year. 1981, she was Face of Greg's. And we just used to laugh at her. But it stopped being funny when she got obsessed with me. She had me at Weight Watchers when I was 11. Is that even legal? But if I lost weight, we stopped at Chippy on the way home. But it did give me a complex. I wouldn't wear a bathing suit, I wouldn't swim, and that went on for years and years. And just recently I thought, oh, for God's sake, get a grip. And I went swimming. It was wonderful. It was life-changing. It was exhilarating. And you know what the best bit were? My tits floated. They were magnificent. Up here they were. I know you're looking at me thinking, what's this old bird up to? Well, as we get grey, we start to get invisible. And I don't want to fade away. I want to go out screaming and shouting. So I set myself challenges. I've wrote a book. I've been on the chase. Yeah, Bradley Walsh were lovely and I didn't win. I have played live at Glastonbury. I strummed my ukulele in the car park and I'm having that. Well, my friend said, I think there's something wrong with you. I said, well, what do you mean? She said, you've got like the opposite of imposter syndrome. And I thought, what's that? We'll skip that because I put my card in my jacket, never mind. I took my jacket off. Anyway, it is something, it's Dunning-Kruger effect. Basically, it's when you're not as good as you think you are. But I've got a nice feel. But anyway, my biggest challenge is I've been married 36 years. 36 years. Met and married within a year. He proposed to me at Bobby Ball's nightclub in Rochdale. Do you remember Bobby Ball? Rock on Tommy? Yeah. He's not been cancelled, has he? No, I'll carry on then. So yeah, he got down on one knee, and even after all these years, I'm not 100% sure he weren't tying his shoelace. But I took it as a proposal, and I had that wedding book by Monday. Yeah, I mean, he does love me. I mean, he's almost told me once. But he's not come here tonight. He had come to support me. He says that this is my midlife crisis. Midlife crisis? I'm too old for a midlife crisis. For this to be midlife, I'd have to live to be 126. Honestly. But we do love each other. We have little names for each other, you know. He calls me Delightful Deborah. Isn't that nice? Aww. Delightful Deborah. I call him my sex machine. No, I don't. No. Second mistake this year. No. I call him a fucking tool. But when we married until death do us part. I just didn't think it would take this long. And I knew we'd stay together. I knew. I mean, neither of us wanted custody of kids. But just this last month or so, we've had a bit of a wobble, and he's got really fed up with me. And he said, I've forgotten I've got a husband, and it's either him or the comedy. Well, I thought about it. And I would miss him, you know, because I've had him a long time. So I took the punishment. He punished me. He did. Physically, emotionally, financially. He made me take the grandchildren to Blackpool. Really awful. So anyway, we came to an agreement that I'd only do 2 gigs a week, you know. But this week I've got 4. But don't worry about it. It'll be all right. I'll just give him a blowjob. But he has changed over years. When I met him, he had a narrow waist and a broad mind. That's changed. But one thing that hasn't changed is he does jobs around the house and is really useful. but he never finishes them. There's always something, one little bit, and it drives me mental. And he was going to the pub the other night, and I said to him, before you go, will you change that light bulb? And he said to me, dead cocky, do I look like an electrician? And then I said, that tap's dripping. He said, do I look like a plumber? He's getting really brave. And I said, that door on the kitchen cabinet, can you adjust it? He said, do I look like a joiner, as he run out the door? I thought, stuff you. So I went next door to Joe's. Joe's 40ish, she's recently divorced. He waters the garden with his shirt off. He's a fine figure of a man. His wife said she left him because he was boring. I don't think I'd ever get bored. Anyway, I digress. So he came round and he did all the jobs, and I was dead impressed. And I said, oh, Joe, can I pay you? And he said, no. He said, bake me a cake, I'll give you a blowjob. We laughed. And then when my husband come home, I said to my husband, you don't need to do them jobs. I said, Joe's been round. He said, oh, ain't that kind of him? Did you pay him? So I told him what he said. And you know what my husband said? What kind of cake did you bake? Do I look like a bloody baker? But just recently I felt that he's been socially awakened and he's really angry with the government. And it's all to do with they've reduced men's alcohol intake from 21 units down to 14. Did you know that? And he's done the maths. That's 7 units a week, 350 units a year, and he figures that's 70 pints. The government has stolen 70 pints from all you men. And he's livid. He's joined a protest group, Men Against Restricted Drinking Institute. Mardy for sure. And all them Mardy men are going to march down to London and demand what has been taken is given back. And you know what? I'm quite proud of him. I feel really proud that he's recognised a social injustice. I feel really proud that he's seen a wrong and he wants to put it right. But then I found out the real reason. You're not ticked him off. You're not pushed him over the edge. He was saving them 70 pints for a stag do in Benidorm. But I've changed. I've changed. When I met him, he was all high heels and push-up bras. The night I met him, my boobs were pushed that high, they were level with his nose. And his chat-up line was, can I nuzzle in your bosom? I still took him home. But now it's all flat shoes, big knickers and comfort bras. If any of you ladies haven't got a comfort bra, get one. It's amazing, it just keeps everything in place, just not the place it used to be. And I'm quite conscious about the way I smell. I used to spend a fortune on perfumes. Back then it was Lulu. I don't know if anyone remembers Lulu, not you guys. Lulu. It was so strong. It was that strong that you smelt me before I walked into a room. Now I spend as much on air freshener so you don't smell me when I leave. It's an age thing. It's wind and it's, yeah. I'll never die of natural causes. No, it'll be methane poisoning or I'll spontaneously combust. But there's always something. I went to the doctor's, I had tonsillitis, and as she's looking down my throat, she said, I think you could do the colonoscopy. I thought, how far down can she see? So I go to the hospital and he's doing the consent form, he's telling me all the ways I can die, all the things that can go wrong, and then he said, and you may experience sexual arousal. Oh, some weird folk in there. So I'm there, I'm on the table, I'm on my left-hand side, he's got the camera up my bum. Anybody else had a colonoscopy?
Yay!
Hooray! Did you enjoy it, love? No, a bit pain in the ass, wasn't it? Yeah. So he's got the camera up my bum and he's having a right good look around. And then he leant over and he says to me, are you alright? And I went, yeah, I'm fine. And then I said, I'm not sexually aroused yet. He said, don't worry about it, dear, I am. Some weird folk, I tell you. But I do this madness, this craziness, because it makes me feel alive, it makes me feel relevant, and it makes me feel me.
Hey.
That's very kind, thank you. But my husband doesn't agree with that. I think he's jealous. I said, go and find something that makes you feel that way. He said, I think I'll be a Morris dancer. So he went down to Village Hall and he said all the men were sat along a table. He said it was like an interview panel. And then they started asking him questions. Do you drink real ale? You free bank holiday Monday? do you own an anorak? They let him try the bells on. He had the bells on and he did some stamping around. They even let him have the handkerchief. He said he had amazing wrist action. No surprises. Then the main man said, just one final question. He said, are you circumcised? My husband said, well, yeah, actually I am. And he slammed the book shut. He said, your application is unsuccessful. My husband says, but why? He said, I answered your questions, I did the bells, you said I had great wrist action. He said, you don't meet the criteria. To be a Morris dancer, you've got to be a complete prig. And on that note, thank you very much.